Two of the most popular and largest master plan communities that buyers always love when relocating to the west side are Cinco Ranch and Cross Creek Ranch. And what's not to love? The amenities, the location, everything about these places have been thoughtfully designed so that people will be attracted to this area. So today, we're going to cover the cost, the location, the amenities, and the schools in both neighborhoods so that you can figure out which one is right for you. Hi, I'm Carolyn Bauerschlag, a local real estate agent helping people just like you relocate from all over the country right to our great city. Let's get to it. We can't talk about neighborhoods without talking about what it'll cost for you to live there. So let's touch on the price ranges really quickly. In Cinco Ranch within the last year, 2025, the price range to get your foot in the door was between $265,000 all the way up to almost $2 million. And in Cross Creek Ranch, it was about $290,000 to get your foot in the door, and the prices topped out at about 1.5. Now, I will say on the lower end of these ranges, that 265 and that 290, those are actually probably going to be homes that are in their 55 and up communities. So if you are looking for like a single family detached non-55 and up community home within Cinco or in Cross Creek Ranch, I'm going to say that it's going to be about $380,000 to about $400,000 to get your foot in the door. Now, the lower prices, the ones with the twos in front of it, these are going to be 1,500 square foot, like 2-bed, 2-baths in those 55 and up communities that are catering to people that are on a more restricted budget. So if you're not 55, you can't get in there, right? So if you're a homeowner planning to get into either one of these master plan communities, I would say a good sort of entry level budget, it's going to be about $375,000 to about $400,000. Now, the tax rates for Cinco are uniformly low, and I would say they range anywhere from about 2.13-ish up to about 2.36. And this is without the homestead exemption. So if you consider the homestead exemption, your tax rate is going to get knocked down probably below 2%, up to about 2.25. And that really is phenomenal for the West Houston area. Now, if we flip over to Cross Creek Ranch, let's chat about that for a second. It is widely known amongst homeowners that the tax rate is definitely higher in Cross Creek. So you're looking at a range of about 2.65 all the way up to about 3.2%. Now, you're flipping over into Fulshire when you go into Cross Creek Ranch. The taxes are a little bit different over there, but those are not insignificant values for you to have to pay as a homeowner. So if you're considering Cross Creek Ranch, make sure that you are considering that whatever your home value is, multiply it by about 3, versus if you're in Cinco, multiply it by about 2-ish%. Right? So pretty big carrying cost difference year over year. And one of the third major things to think about when we're considering costs between Cinco and Cross Creek Ranch is going to be the HOA fees. Now, Cinco forever was underneath the cost of Cross Creek Ranch, but recently they've just pulled out ahead. So your minimum HOA dues in Cinco Ranch are going to be $1,550 for the year in 2026. And in Cross Creek Ranch, right now they're sitting at about $1,500. Now, I said that these are minimum dues for the HOAs because every little section is going to be a little bit different. If your home is behind a gate, or if you're in a 55 and up, or if you're a slightly newer section, like those fees can vary a little bit. But I want you to definitely be aware that about $1,500 for both communities is what you're going to pay as a member of those neighborhoods. One important cost differentiator that you should be aware of is that Cross Creek Ranch charges something called a capitalization fee, or they'll call it a foundation fee, where they charge 0.25% of whatever the purchase price is of the home that you're buying to the buyer at the closing table. So that's another little kicker that can very quickly be like on a $500,000 home, another $1,250 in closing costs and up from there. So put that in your back pocket. That's not money up in smoke, but it certainly is significant enough for us to mention here. Now, Cinco Ranch has about 15,000 homes total. And Cross Creek Ranch has about 6,000. And Cross Creek development started in like the 2008-ish timeframe. So like even the oldest home is only about 15-ish, 17-ish years old. Whereas in Cinco, some of the homes are up to 35 years old. So in Cross Creek Ranch, I would say it is more expensive to get your foot in the door, but the homes are also uniformly newer. So if newer construction across all parts of a neighborhood is important to you, then Cross Creek Ranch might be the right fit. And what's a discussion about real estate if you're not talking about location? So a major difference between these two communities, I would say, is where they're positioned and what your commute would look like, depending on where you need to go, right? So Cross Creek Ranch is buried, I would say. I refer to it as buried in the corner of 1463 and 1093, or West Park Toll. So if you think about that, that is like the southwest corner of Katy-ish. It is technically Fulshire. But if you're needing to commute downtown, I would say most people that I know that are choosing to live in Cross Creek Ranch are not going to be commuting into downtown every single day, because you have to go West Park Toll to 59 and then 59 and like navigate the way that you need to go. It's a lot of different freeways and a tollway to get to that particular area. I would say people living in Cross Creek Ranch are going to likely be commuting to either the west side itself, like not too far out of the west side. They're going to the Energy Corridor and maybe the Galleria. But downtown, I would say, is probably a little too far for most people. Now, Cinco Ranch is central, right? So it is splitting the difference of the Grand Parkway, so left and right side of the Grand Parkway, and it's splitting the difference in between I-10 and 1093. It really is ideal for whatever location you need to get to. So I would say if you're commuting Energy Corridor, Galleria, or downtown, most people won't like the commutes, because who does? But I would say they don't feel as significantly difficult as perhaps living in Cross Creek Ranch might. So another good thing to just kind of put in your back pocket and be aware of is at 99 and I-10 on the north side, kind of that north corner, there is a metro where you can take a shuttle bus on the Houston Metro to downtown. So that's a good way for people to either take a nap, get a little extra work done, take a Teams call or whatever, without necessarily having to be the one driving every single day. So the homes themselves aren't just the thing that people move to these communities for. Obviously, people are very interested in a master plan community's amenities. And I would say whether you're choosing Cross Creek Ranch or you're choosing Cinco Ranch, both have fabulous amenities. And I would say developers on both sides of this coin have done a ton of work to make sure that when people make it out to these suburban areas, that they don't really have to go and they don't have to leave. So if we talk about Cinco Ranch for just a moment, Cinco is huge. Like, it's 8,000 acres. It's been around forever. They've got 15,000 homes, so they have more amenities than Cross Creek Ranch. They have 11 pools, and some of those are going to be lap pools, or they're going to be water park style, where you really don't need like a water park membership. Like, you can just use what Cinco Ranch has. They're famous for them. Cinco Ranch also has in excess of 90 parks. So these are playgrounds, these are swing sets, these are green fields, pavilions, places for unstructured sports. Like, they have pickleball courts, tennis courts, they have waterways where you can do kayaking or paddleboarding. Like, literally everything has been accounted for in Cinco. Now in Cross Creek Ranch, Cross Creek is a little bit different. So this is about 3,200 acres in this particular area, so about 40% the size of Cinco Ranch. They have about 6,000 homes in this community. And what Cross Creek Ranch did is they really made an effort to plan the community around existing nature. So for instance, there was a major agricultural ditch that ran through Cross Creek Ranch. And when they started to develop it, they said, hey, let's actually turn this into a nature preserve. So they worked with wildlife biologists and ecosystem specialists to make sure that what they were doing to the neighborhood didn't run out some of the prettiest aspects of nature. They're also very focused on water conservation. So you'll see like these retention basins that were made to look like these beautiful lakes. They use a lot of like recycling water to like help keep the landscaping lush. So they aren't just like running water out of the ground all the time to keep these common areas looking good. They planted a lot of trees, but they also have things that are called like tall grass areas in Cross Creek Ranch. And this kind of throws people off when they drive through. They're like, did people forget to mow? And the answer is no. They're just trying to create more of like a grasslands feel so that when you are out in Fulshire, technically in Cross Creek Ranch, you have a little bit more of that green space to look at and enjoy. Now, Cross Creek Ranch isn't just green spaces and waterways. They do have 4 pools that are like those same water park style. They have splash pads. They have a ton of parks. The parks are really in great shape too. Like there's swing sets. There's stuff for a little toddler age. There's stuff for anyone up to junior high. They have their own sports fields. They have pickleball. They have tennis courts. They have catch and release fishing ponds. So very much like Cinco, I would say just on a smaller scale. So if you had to kind of compare and contrast the two of them, I would say Cinco has more. And I would say it's a little bit more manicured, a little bit more uniform looking. And I would say Cross Creek Ranch has fewer parks, pools, amenities, and a little bit more natural looking. And of course, one of the last determining factors that people are looking at when they're choosing between Cross Creek Ranch and Cinco Ranch is going to be the schools. Now, if you're considering Cinco Ranch, you're going to be uniformly in Katy ISD. every single school within Cinco Ranch is zoned to a Katy ISD school. And what they've done a great job with Cinco is planting these schools within very walkable parts of the neighborhood. So I think there's a lot of charm and appeal for parents, especially at the elementary age, where you can quite literally open the front door, pop your child on their bicycle, and either send them off if they're old enough, or bicycle ride with them to their elementary school. It's really very cute. You can also walk if you need to, but like, it's almost idyllic, right? Like it's a callback to, I think, a previous time. So your junior high and your high schools are going to be on more major roads just because they kind of have to be. But there's 4 different high schools that are zoned to Cinco Ranch. Cinco is absolutely huge. So you can choose whatever high school you want to go to and like focus your search in Cinco Ranch according to those high schools. But I would say uniform Katy ISD schools, all going to be A-rated, very, very attractive over the years. Now, an important thing to know about Cross Creek Ranch is that there is a dividing line on the west side of Cross Creek Ranch that splits the neighborhood between home zone to Katy ISD and home zone to Lamar Consolidated ISD. Now, if you, for instance, were searching for one or the other, I would highly encourage you to make sure every single time that you check on the multiple listing service or with your agent, that the home that you're interested in looking at is zoned to the right school that you're looking to go to. So in Cross Creek Ranch, on the Katy ISD side, this is kind of an awesome setup. So the 2 elementary schools within Cross Creek Ranch serve Cross Creek Ranch exclusively. So there's 2 fabulous choices there within the neighborhood, both walkable, bikeable, insulated, and I would say off of major roads. There are crossing guards, like of course they safety first, right? But like it's very cute in the morning. You'll see like huge droves of children in their cute bicycle helmets or rollerblades or scooters or whatever going to school. On the Katy ISD sides too, these are somewhat recently opened. There is a huge swath of land that's dedicated to the junior high and the high school within Cross Creek. And the campus is massive, and it is on one of the more busy thoroughfares throughout Cross Creek Ranch. And those junior high and high schools serve almost exclusively Cross Creek. They do pick up a small section of Cinco on the east side, but for the most part, like if you live in Cross Creek, like all of your schools are within a stone's throw. Now, if you're on the Lamar Consolidated side, the Lamar Consolidated side of Cross Creek Ranch only has 1 school within the neighborhood, and it is walkable. So it's still going to have that same feel. But if you're going to junior high or high school on the Lamar Consolidated side, you are going to get in the car. It's probably not going to be a safe bike ride for you, and it is going to be a little bit further out. Now, an important thing to know in Cross Creek Ranch is that the Katy ISD side of the neighborhood can sell faster and for a little bit more money than the Lamar Consolidated side. Now, as far as the money difference goes, the Lamar Consolidated side is the one that has Bonterra, which is the 55 and up community, and that naturally has lower price points than like the 5-bedroom palatial homes that are going to obviously cost more, right? So it's not necessarily because Lamar is bad and Katy's great, right? Like it's just the 55 and up section is on the Lamar Consolidated side. The tax rates are a little bit different between the 2 as well. The newer side is the Lamar Consolidated side, and I can see the tax rates a little bit higher than on the Katy side. So generally speaking, something to consider or put in your back pocket for resale is that the Katy ISD side does sell for just a little bit more and a little bit faster. The truth is that both Cinco Ranch and Cross Creek Ranch are fabulous choices if you're considering a move to the west side. Hopefully this video today has helped you determine which one may be the right fit for you. If you're considering a move to the west side, I would love to be a real estate agent. And if you found value in what you watched here today, make sure to click the link below and subscribe. We put content like this out every single week. See you soon.